Are you struggling to find any kind of happiness or fulfillment in your day-to-day life right now and feeling guilty and embarrassed that that's something that you can say when you have so many people around you that love you and that you are busy taking care of? Today we're going to talk about how you can fall in love with your life again. My name is Tasha Skillen and I help people pleasers and productivity junkies stop settling for good enough and start redesigning their lives to create a meaningful impact and fulfill their purpose. Today we're talking about how to fall in love with your life again. But first, let's talk about why this is important. A lot of us have a lot of guilt when it comes to not being completely overjoyed and completely filled up by taking care of all the people that we birthed or that we are responsible for, or our partners and the families of origin. And this comes from a lot of different directions. This messaging has been coming at us for years and years and years. Women especially are struggling with feeling like they have not fulfilled their purpose. They're struggling with not seeing the impact that they thought they would be having by this point in their lives. Now, a lot of us have arbitrary milestones in our early 20s of what our life is going to look like. And then reality hits and we have things to deal with and different responsibilities and different obligations that we tend to. And still, there's no reason you can't be in love with your life where you are right now. So I'm going to give you some simple steps today to help you transform where you are now to where you want to be just by following this step-by-step system. And in no time, you're going to start falling in love with your life. How do you know if you're not in love with your life? How do you know that things are just good enough? If you're dragging yourself out of bed every morning, you are drinking gallons of coffee just to get through the day, you are doing the bare minimum to look like your best self, whatever that is for you. If you are constantly exhausted or you have ongoing anxiety that doesn't seem to have an actual landing spot. If you feel overwhelmed and then ultimately end up feeling guilty because none of this is enough for you, it also may look like you're arguing with your kids or your partner, or you're choosing to be distracted and avoiding opportunities that would allow you to grow because you feel stuck and that no matter what you do, you're not going to get to the next place. If you're constantly scrolling through social media, just hoping that there's something that tells you what your next step is or gives you some hope or some inspiration to start taking action, then you have landed in front of this video for a reason. Let me tell you what happens if you don't change this. If you let this be this under the surface condition that you experience on a day-to-day basis, over the course of the next couple of months, couple years, and possibly even decades, you're going to start seeing a massive decline in not only your physical health, but also all the relationships you care about will start to experience a disconnect because you're not filling yourself up and you're not identifying and taking action towards the actual things that you care about and that are going to allow you to have a meaningful impact. Every person on this planet wants to feel like they have an impact on something, and we all are designed to have and fulfill a purpose for our lifetime. So if you don't take this internal signal seriously, you will start to lose the relationships that matter the most to you. And you will continue to layer on doubt and self-worth concerns and more shame and more guilt, which will make it feel like it's impossible to get to who you actually are, to have a meaningful existence in your day-to-day life. It's possible, and you don't even have to wipe out your entire life where you are now to make it happen. It's just going to require you to be intentional and take these tips that I'm about to give you and execute them as soon as possible. The first step is to dream big or visualize. This is something that so many of us struggle with because we have been told and taught and wired from when we were younger kids to obey and follow the rules and stay in your lane and do what I say. And this method of dreaming bigger and thinking it and creating a vision of something that's you've never experienced before has been, in so many occasions, through media and through our caregivers as children, has been squashed as a waste of time. You've been labeled possibly that you have your head in the clouds. Today, I'm giving you permission to dream bigger, to see a bigger future for yourself than you can see right now. And I'm going to ask you to do a couple things when you're doing this. It is going to be essential that you don't limit yourself. There's no editing, there's no judgment on what is and what is not possible. What we don't realize when we're doing this practice of every day, habitually responding and reacting to the people around us, going about the same thing in autopilot that we did yesterday and the day before that, is that we are literally creating our future based on what we did in the past. And although there is a lot of benefit in bringing what we've learned lessons-wise to our future, it's impossible for us to create a future that is different than what we are already experiencing unless we can visualize it and dream it bigger than what we are doing right now. If you can imagine it, you can create it. And sometimes this can be a little challenging because we don't even all the way know what we want. So it's important to know that in this process, in this 4-step process, it's not a one and done. You don't do these 4 steps all the way through and then finish. It's a cycle. You're going to revolve through these 4 steps as you get further and further down the path of fulfilling your purpose. So in this first step, dream and get as specific as you can where you can in your future vision. What is it that you would like to be feeling? What does it look like when your life is in the state of bliss and energizing and enthusiasm and fulfillment that you can imagine, even if it's just a little bit further than where you are to start. But start somewhere. Think about where you want to go in the future and get really clear on some of the factors that are included in that vision and going forward. The second is to take an audit on what your life is currently. So according to that vision, when you're looking forward and creating this dream life that you actually can design for yourself, what is it that's happening in your life right now that is aligned with that vision and what is not aligned with that vision? This can be a little bit of a challenge because we look around and we might feel like we're overwhelmed by all the things that are not aligned, but I would venture to guess there's actually a lot more that's aligned with where you want to go than not. It's just a matter of reframing it. How you parent, how you interact with your relationships, what you're doing with your time, how you manifest money and abundance. All of those practices are just about reframing your limiting beliefs and looking forward towards what you can create versus basing what you can create on what you have already experienced. So audit what you have going on right now. Who are the relationships that are really fulfilling? What are the activities that really energize you? What are the activities that drain you and make you feel like crap at the end of the day? You want to take an audit of what's working and what's not working without judgment. It's either effective or not effective. It's either pushing you towards where you want to be in fulfilling your purpose and having a meaningful impact, or it's not. Keep in mind, all of this is just the first draft. All 4 of these steps are just draft 1. You're gonna be doing this over and over and over again. Number 3, crowd out one habit at a time. One of the biggest mistakes we make is trying to do this huge overhaul of our life. And what you can do with the audit you just did is pick one thing that you're going to trade out. So if there's an activity that you see in your habits that is not aligned with where you want to be and who you can become, pick that one thing, even though there may be a longer list, and just focus on trading that activity, that time, that attention for something that is more aligned with where you want to go. Just by trading that out, and once that has become an autopilot option for you, and you have released judgment on the things you've done in the past, you can then introduce the next habit and trade that one out, and the next one and trade that one out. And eventually, over the course of a couple months, you're going to have traded out all the things that don't align with where you want to go, and you're going to wake up one morning and realize, oh my gosh, my day is actually aligned exactly where I'm going. I'm excited, I'm energized, and ready to make this happen. The 4th tip is making sure you don't do this alone. This is an essential piece that so many people, especially women, don't embrace. We are designed to work together, support each other, and encourage each other. That's how humans were built. And for some reason, women have been told or learned along the way or received feedback that told us that we have to do this alone. A DIY system is not going to work for getting you where you want to be. It's time for you to accept your humanity. You do not need to be Wonder Woman, and accept that humans require accountability to move forward, and encouragement and validation and affirmation and cheering on when things are going well. And humans also, you being a human, need a little support and need reminders of why this going through this hard thing, moving through this challenge is worth it. When you're practicing a new habit and you're developing a new sense of self, you're creating a revised version of what your life looks like. It's all so much easier when you have a community of people who are excited about doing the same thing. When you're surrounded by like-minded people who are excited about you trading out habits that aren't aligned for ones that are watching your energy and your momentum build because you are actually aligning what your inner voice is telling you to do and getting excited about the purpose that you're fulfilling and having an impact that you were meant to have, it is a powerful community. It is a powerful experience. And by practicing these 4 steps over and over and over again, you're gonna see that you can create a life that you actually fall in love with again. And when you're in love with your life, it affects everything. Your health gets better, your relationships improve, your efficiency and your productivity increase, and you end up loving the things you do all day, which means you sleep better, gratitude finds you as you fall asleep when you wake up in the morning, and you're excited to live your life. And that's contagious. So make sure that you include these 4 steps in your daily practice. When you're taking a shower, or while you're driving, or while you have 5 minutes by yourself drinking a cup of coffee in the morning before everyone wakes up. And think about what this means for you. Think about what your dream or your future vision really would include if you didn't have anything that you thought was holding you back. Audit what is working and what is not working to get you to that vision. Crowd out the misaligned habit or activity with the aligned habit one at a time. And finally, don't do it alone. Recruit some friends or find some new people who are going to celebrate your progress and encourage you to go after this life that is meant to be yours, where you are fulfilled and you have a meaningful impact the way that you were designed to have on this planet. And let's make sure you fall in love with your life again. Stop settling for good enough and create a life that you love. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and tap that bell so you're the first to know when the next video drops. And if you're looking for a little boost, we also have a free guide in the links below that will help you create empowering word choices to help you on your path to creating a life that you love. Make sure you check that out and download that today. Thanks for watching.